So on Saturday, Washington State University beat Oregon, and it was awesome. It was a game I was at. I go to Washington State. It was a ton of fun. But I want to talk about something because I predicted Oregon to win the game. And I was wrong. I'm okay with that. I mean, first of all, again, I'm a student at Washington State. I stormed the field. I had fun. I loved it. It was great. But the second thing is that a goal on my show is to be interesting. My goal has always been, my kind of mantra has been, I care more about being interesting than being right. I make a bunch of predictions, and if I'm wrong, it's okay. It's like, yeah, that's all right. I'll live. And some people ask me, do you want to be interesting, Zach? Does that mean you're clickbaity? No. Here's what I mean when I say I want to be interesting. If you're going to listen to me talk for one of my 5-minute segments, I want you to be entertained and informed and have it be worth your time. What I don't want to do is put out, maybe all my predictions are totally right 100% of the time, but they're not interesting. They tell a boring story. That I don't want to waste 5 minutes of your life. If I'm going to take 5 minutes of your life, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be informative and entertaining. That's my goal. That's what I do. My goal is to be interesting. Not clickbait. Clickbait is deception. I don't deceive you. I tell you what it is. I picked Oregon. I was wrong. That's okay. So why was I wrong? Why did that happen? I have a belief. I do think I had a good read on this game. I was around the game all week. I have friends on both sides of this game. Friends at Oregon, friends at Washington State. And for Washington State, this game was like the Super Bowl. I mean, College Game Day, ESPN's College Game Day came into town. I was on set. I was working it. Ton of fun. This game meant a lot to Washington State. And on the other side, Oregon, this was just another game for them. And I was right about that. I was right that Washington State really hyped this game up, and Oregon was a little less overwhelmed, a little less overcome by the situation. But I attributed it wrong. I knew I had the right read in the game. My prediction was wrong because I predicted that the big atmosphere, the big game feel was actually going to hurt Washington State. And instead of overwhelming Washington State, I think it actually carried them to victory. It helped them. That big moment, they rose up to the situation and played a little better. I mean, at halftime, Washington State led the game 27-0. And at times in the first half, Oregon's offense looked lackadaisical. They looked not ready. They just did not look like they were all there. I mean, the number one quarterback in the nation, Justin Herbert, looked off. He didn't play very well. I don't know. I think it's interesting. First of all, it's interesting that 2 years in a row, a number one quarterback in the nation, Sam Darnold last year and Justin Herbert this year, they come to Washington State, they go home with a loss. I mean, that's interesting as well. But after this game, I think the question has been, could Washington State, are they like a legit, really good football team? I think yes. I think they have earned the right to be considered. Maybe Washington State could actually win the Pac-12. In recent years, people have said, this is Washington State's year. And I never bought it because I was not a big fan of Luke Falk. I wasn't as big a fan of Luke Falk as other people were. I saw him or I was around him. He didn't have the same moxie. He didn't have the same presence in big moments. The difference for Washington State this year is their quarterback, Gardner Minshew, is a guy who can rise up. They're 6-1. They just beat Oregon. They got to beat Stanford next week. And then the big game of the year for the Washington State will be the Apple Cup against University of Washington. If all those things go well, Washington State could actually win a Pac-12 championship. They got to beat Stanford, got to beat Cal. No, did they play Cal? I think they played Cal already. I'm out of it. I don't know. I don't care. But they must beat UW at the end of the year, and they must beat Stanford. But again, the difference for Washington State this year has been Gardner Minshew. His pocket presence, the way he moves and slides in the pocket, pressure does not deter Gardner Minshew. Luke Falk would have taken a lot of sacks last year that Gardner Minshew has slipped away from, avoided, and thrown the ball downfield. That's a big difference for Gardner Minshew. He's also a playmaker with his eyes and his shoulders. A lot of guys you hear, Lamar Jackson, the former quarterback for Louisville, he was a playmaker with his legs. He ran around and just had giant like 45, 50-yard runs. He made plays with his legs. Or you watch Josh Allen last year for Wyoming. That guy made plays with his arm. He threw throws that nobody else could throw. Gardner Minshew does not have the same tools as Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. Does not have a huge elite arm. Has a solid arm, but not Patrick Mahomes. And he does not have the speed of Lamar Jackson, but Gardner Minshew has. that a lot of people aren't talking about is his ability to make plays with his eyes and with his shoulders. He'll point his shoulder left, he'll move his safety, flip back, throw the ball to the right. He is really, really good at manipulating defenses with his eyes, with his shoulders, as well as extending plays and staying alive in the pocket. Those two traits are why I think actually Washington State could win the Pac-12 championship this year. I didn't buy it last year. I was like, yeah, I don't believe in Luke Falk. I believe in Gardner Minshew. He's a difference maker. He's a big deal. He's a reason why Washington State could go from just a normal 6-1 team that they're going to lose to Stanford or UW at some point. Gardner Minshew is the difference between losing those two big games and beating Stanford and beating UW at home and maybe winning the Pac-12 championship. That is why I think Washington State's a different team than last year. It's because of Gardner Minshew, their quarterback. Hi, my name is Zach Schaumler. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. It means a ton to me. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. And if you're new to Strong Opinion Sports, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube, as well as shorter little breakout clips like the one you just watched. And if you really want to help me, please tell your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. Help me grow by telling your friends about this show. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow by telling your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. My name is Zach Schaumler. Thank you so much, and have a great day.